to another episode of
The Fuzzy Pod.
I'm your co-host, Megan.
And I'm your co-host, Maddie.
Here on the Fuzzy Pod, we love to talk about all the things that give us those warm, fuzzy feelings, which includes a lot of nostalgia from the late 90s and the early 2000s. Well, today we are talking about some of our favorite sisters from the 90s, 2000s era.
Some might say they inspired us to start this here podcast.
And that would be the Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Do you feel like you're more of like a Mary-Kate or more of like an Ashley?
I don't know. I feel like you give Mary-Kate and I give Ashley, or do I give Mary-Kate and you? I don't know. Who's the oldest one? We should know this because today we're doing a deep dive.
I wrote it down, but I don't remember. Today we are doing a deep dive, Megan. That is correct. I can confirm that is on the calendar and the agenda for today. Now, before we get started, I would just like to say that if we miss anything, if we don't talk about something specific, leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. But there is just so much to cover, so I know they were going to miss a lot. And
their career quite literally spanned from
the time they were born, 6 months to be exact.
Birth to adult, like to now.
To now. Also, I did not realize, this is just a random tangent and doesn't matter, but Elizabeth Olsen is only 2 years younger than them.
Oh my gosh, they're so
close in age. I don't know why I thought she was like
way younger. That is funny. I just don't think that she came into the acting world until way later.
Adulthood. Yeah. I think she like started when she was younger and then was like, I just want to be a kid.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's all, folks. That's all, folks. In other news, any life updates?
Any life updates today?
Before we could jump into our inspiration, we should really hang a picture of the Olsen twins behind us.
Oh, you know what? Next time. I don't have any specific life updates. I might have a little, mija, that's expensive.
Oh, lay it on me. I have a mija that's expensive on something that I'm wanting to purchase that I'm trying to convince myself I don't need.
Well, there's one thing that I didn't buy myself and someone bought for me, and I just feel like I should return it because it's just too much. I tried on this beautiful, perfect denim dress. And it just, I'm 5'1". I usually...
That's generous, yeah.
Yeah, that's generous. I'm usually going to fit into petite clothing for my height specifically, and that's sometimes hard to find. And I found this denim dress, and it just fit perfectly.
Hugged
and it was
all the
so
right
cute.
curves.
But it was $259. Which is just very expensive whenever...
In this economy? I mean, that's a half carton of eggs.
That at least. And here I am, I've been a thrifty girl. I'm used to seeing those types of price tags. So that's
like thrifting price tags.
Yeah, thrifting price tags. I'm talking like a shirt for $7.99.
$5.99, and we're like, that's too expensive. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it. So $259. I was like, And then our mom got it for me, and my wife, I'm like, but I don't feel like, should I return it? That was really sweet of her. And she goes, it's a classic, you'll wear it forever.
Is she right though?
She might be, I don't know.
What's the brand? Lay the brand on us, do you know?
Page Denim.
Oh yeah.
They're nice, huh?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice. I should have never tried it on.
So my mija, that's expensive. I keep trying to convince myself I don't need to buy this, but I really, 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 really want it. And that is the Ninja slushie maker. And it's back in stock. And I could get it at Target right now if I wanted to. And that is the hardest thing to know.
That it's just readily available to order online.
I could be making Coke Ices today.
Here's the issue. You said Target and Coke. I'm just kidding.
Okay, where else are we supposed to shop, Megan? Where else are we supposed to shop?
There's nothing available to us.
Coca-Cola owns everything. Like I just learned that they own the milk I like the most. So
you can't outrun
win.
it.
And I actually, you know what? At this point,
Dr. Pepper slushies.
But that's the thing. Everything's Coke.
Everything
That's
is
a Texas
Coke.
thing. I wasn't even specifically thinking Coke.
No.
I was just thinking slushies.
Yeah, I like a soda slushie.
It's just coming from my throat, okay? I'm just A little Mexican girl in this world trying to make it.
Trying her best.
Trying my best.
Besides eyeing that slushie, do you have any other life updates?
I slammed my car door into my leg.
Ow.
So I have a big bruise.
Ow. Yeah.
I realize my shoes don't fit me properly because I have janky toes. So I can never make money with feet pics.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was a devastating blow this week.
POV, I'm your therapist. Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me more.
I'll never be successful.
With feet pics, specifically?
I mean, yeah. And that was like a serious consideration in
Soul Sisters, SOLE.
The way that this country is going. How else am I supposed to make money?
Soul Sisters LLC.
Yeah, trademarked.
You and me.
For life. What are we supposed to do?
We're supposed to deep dive Mary-Kate and Ashley.
She's always looking for a segue instead of being like, are you done? Do you feel heard?
Do you feel heard? Do you feel seen?
That's enough chit chat, Megan.
I'll shut up.
Let's start from the very beginning. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were born on June 13th, 1986 in Los Angeles, California.
California babies.
They were to parents David and Jarnette Olsen. I hope I'm saying that correctly because it's not Jeanette.
Yeah.
It has an R in it.
That sounds right.
Jarnette?
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
You've heard that name before?
Yeah, totally. I feel like I've heard that.
Jarnette.
Yes.
Who?
Somewhere.
She goes by Jarny for short, in case you're wondering. Ashley is the older twin by 2 minutes. So you're Ashley for sure then.
Okay.
That does make me Mary-Kate. Except for I was just born 4 years later instead of 2 minutes later. But I just need to cook more.
We're basically like them.
Yeah, we're basically like them. They have a total of 4 other siblings. So Elizabeth Olsen, who we already talked about. Yeah. And then they have an older brother. And then they have 2 other younger siblings that are their half siblings because their parents got divorced and their dad remarried.
Okay.
They have 2 half siblings, which the sister, they all look the same.
Like
Mary-Kate
and
Ashley.
Or Elizabeth.
Elizabeth and the other half sister, whose name is Courtney, I believe.
Those genes are strong.
The genes are strong. I don't know which. It must be the dad. They must look like their dad because that's the shared parent.
That would add up.
Genetics, right?
Biology.
It's not
science.
It's not Jarny's.
Jarnette's.
Jarny. She goes by Jarny.
It's not Jarny's DNA.
It's not Jarnette's DNA, that's for sure. And they quickly, as we mentioned before, began their careers at the ripe old age of 6 months. I mean, really, they were cutting it close.
Honestly,
they were almost too old to enter the
It's a bit lazy
industry.
of them, to start that late.
I mean, they should have.
Why didn't you start work at 1 month, like all of us? Like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us. It's giving lazy. It's giving entitled. It's
giving privileged.
It's giving privileged. But they were both cast as Michelle Tanner on the show Full House. Everywhere you know.
Ever heard of it?
No. I actually hate that show.
You know what? I know it's so well loved. I don't think I've ever intentionally gone back to watch an episode.
I have never willingly watched an episode of Full House.
It's always just been on.
It's always just on, and it always would come on in the middle of the night, and I would fall asleep with my
happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, TV. But it's so well loved, and is it nostalgia? Is it purely nostalgia?
Well, apparently it was not well received critically.
You know what? We should go back and watch a few episodes.
We actually should for science purposes.
See if
because we're here crapping on it, and we should really do our research.
We should do our research there, and because clearly it has almost a cult-like following, you could say.
I mean, it's up there to me. I feel in my mind, people love it as much as they love Friends or something.
Yes. Which I don't get that one either.
I don't get Friends either. Come for our throats. We're here to be controversial.
Was it a you needed to be there type of situation?
Friends feels like you needed to be there. But here's the thing. Like, I love Seinfeld, but I know that it's not, like, good acting on Jerry's part. Like, it
Yeah.
is cheesy. Like, the laugh track of it all vibes is, like, a cheesy there's laugh tracks in Seinfeld, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but
Seinfeld's hilarious. Holds up.
I think it holds up.
It's not like a nostalgia lens.
Right? That's what I think.
So is Full House nostalgia lens? That's what we need to find out for ourselves.
And then they came out with Fuller House. I'm like, what are we doing? Is that what it's called? Fuller House?
Fuller House.
Anyways, so they were both cast as little babies to play Michelle Tanner on Full House because of, child labor working laws.
Yeah.
They had to switch out the babies every few hours.
Yeah.
Keep them fresh, make sure they're warm.
Yeah.
And they began filming in 1987 when they were just 9 months old. And they continued to share that role until the end of the wrap of the show, which was in 1995.
They literally grew up on there. That's wild.
Yeah. And I added this little tidbit that I got off of a people.com article that I read. That their acting coach in 1991 said that Ashley thrived in the more dialogue-heavy scenes, where Mary-Kate was a little more shy and did much better with the action-focused scenes. Anyway, so
they would use Mary-Kate for action focus. They're like, all right, we need a baby to cry.
Yeah, we need a baby to roll through the middle of the room, Do a cartwheel.
All right, Mary-Kate, you're up.
Go steal a loaf of bread. I don't know.
Ashley, you're doing the scene with your fake uncle. And action.
With your funkle.
Not the funkle.
Wait, okay. So what is the basis of that show? So the mom dies and the dad brings in his best friend and his brother?
Brother-in-law. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so his widow,
I believe
deceased wife.
Yeah.
And then at one point, isn't the brother-in-law like living in the attic?
Yeah. And then he also gets married and lives there with his wife. And he
has twins.
They have twins too.
But no, there's no twins in the show.
Oh, you're right. Because
she's just one.
She's one. Michelle is not a twin.
So
played by twins.
This is my question.
So was there 4 of them?
Exactly. For the twins.
For the twins in the show.
Was it quadruplets?
Or did child labor laws change at that point?
They probably did. They probably changed. Or they were less important, so they didn't care as much. And the kid, the parents of those kids were like, yeah, sure. Just work them. It's fine. We won't say anything.
Oh my gosh. So where did they go after Full House?
Well, it's not where they went after Full House, but where they started to go during Full House. So in 1992 is where we started to see the twins step out and appear in their first film, actually, as separate characters. So not just playing one character that they swapped off, but actually having their own characters as twins.
They could actually do scenes together.
When did The Parent Trap come out?
I think it was like maybe 95. Are you trying to figure out why they weren't casted?
Yeah.
You were like, that just makes sense. Maybe controversial.
Say it.
Is it because Lindsay Lohan was a better actress as a child?
Lindsay Lohan genuinely was a fantastic actress.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe
The Parent Trap wouldn't have been as good. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. Ultimately, they did not make blockbuster hits.
No.
They only had 2 movies. Spoiler alert for Mary-Kate and Ashley, the Olsen twins, what we're talking about right now. They only had 2 movies go into theaters, and both of them did not do very well. And that was It Takes Two and New York Minute. So, not really your blockbuster type, but it did not matter for their pockets. Their debut film was a TV movie called To Grandmother's House We Go, where these 2 young girls decide to run away from home because their mom is overwhelmed and it's Christmas time and they run away to grandma's house.
Real. Christmas is an overwhelming time.
Yeah, she's a single mom who's working 16 jobs. You know how it goes. You know the song. And the twins were only 6 years old at this time, but this really just kind of like rocketed them to success in a lot of ways because it was well received by kids and they enjoyed getting to like see both Mary-Kate and Ashley. And at that time, from my understanding, the Olsen's twins' dad, Dave, hired a lawyer and to renegotiate their contract for Full House, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know what? They deserve more coin. And he was so impressed with that lawyer that he then hired him to be the twins' manager. This gentleman's name was Robert Thorne. So then he kind of took over and became their manager. And this was honestly a very pivotal decision on their dad's part in their career. Because I think that at the time, they probably were sensing, Full House is obviously going to be coming to an end at some point.
Yeah.
We don't want this to be the end of their careers. And so, like, what are we going to do?
Where do we go from here?
So that brings us into the production company that is known as now Dual Star and is currently owned by Mary-Kate and Ashley. They are the CEOs and they own their own production company at this point, or entertainment group. And this company was founded in May of 1993. So shortly after they brought in this lawyer as their manager, he was like, we've got to start our own production company that then turned into more than just TV and film.
So the first movie that they made, To Grandmother's House We Go, was that not part of Dual Star?
That was not part of Dual Star. So at that point, they were, I think they were probably in the middle of renegotiations for Full House, and they got connected with this lawyer, and then he was like,
we
okay,
can do that.
we can make films.
Yeah.
So a little bit of history on Dual Star, and then I'll pass it off to Megan to wrap us up with their later years and where they are now. But this company, like I said, was founded in May of 1993 by the twins' dad and this manager, Robert Thorne. So their manager at the time was the CEO of the company, and then the dad was the president of the company. Okay. So the two of them were really just working together to get whatever they could out of the situation.
CEO, president, isn't that the same, like, title, different font?
I mean, no, but like to me, CEO is like bigger picture. President is more
day to day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, not the point. There was two men controlling the pocketbooks.
Yeah.
But they were also sick, so. So just 1 month after they founded this company, though, they actually entered into a like producing agreement with ABC. So they joined forces with ABC and said like, hey, like, we'll make a bunch of movies and TV shows and all the things for y'all. Like, give us that money.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was literally a month later after they founded the company that they were like, yep, let's do it. What I thought was very interesting about this whole situation is from the very beginning, the girls were like executive producers.
Yeah.
So from the very first film, they were executive producers. And the manager said at the time that he just wanted to make sure that they were too young to actually do any tasks that like an executive producer would do normally. So it wasn't necessarily that they were actually like being executive producers, but I think he just wanted to make sure that they had like that empowerment so that like as they grew older,
they could take that forward.
Involved. Yeah.
And I wonder too what that looked like with the money, because did Coogan accounts exist back then? When did Coogan accounts start?
I don't know how their money was protected, but I do know, I'll get into it.
Okay, 1939.
Yeah, I do know they were making hella money. So they wasted no time in jumping into production for their first film. So in June 1993, the first film that they produced was Double Double Toil and Trouble, which was a Halloween.
Cute.
Because they were like, you know what, they did so good with that, like Christmas. Like everyone ate it, yum, 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 ate it up. Delicious. We loved it. So they were like, you know what's going to be better? Twitches. I'm just kidding.
Everybody loves twin witches.
The original Twitches. Actually, when did Twitches come out? That would have been early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing that was crazy is for that first film, they were each paid $500,000.
That feels really good, actually.
That's insane. I don't know if that's like today's money.
Yeah.
If they but if it's not, that's like $1 million.
That's a lot of money.
In today's money.
Yeah.
If it wasn't today's money, that's still a lot of money. Like, or if they did calculate it as today's money, then that's a lot of money still. But like, if that's like what, I'm assuming that's what they made then.
Yeah. Plus back end.
That was just for them. That wasn't like.
Yeah, that's just their fee.
Yeah, that was their fee.
6 years old.
6 years old. Making more than I could ever, because I don't have good enough feet. That sounded weird. That sounded like they were selling feet pics. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're saying like even
you know
now,
what I
as
mean.
an adult, if I were to sell feet pics, I could still not beat out 6-year-olds and making movies for other 6-year-olds.
Exactly. So during this time, they were not just doing TV shows and made-for-TV movies. They were also releasing music.
I was trying to remember if it was a fever dream or not that they had music, and I was like, no, because they weren't singers. They didn't have music.
But they did. But because the thing that's confusing about it is, to me, their music was stuff that they did in their movies.
Yes, it
not
was
their own thing.
Especially like the You're Invited series.
Yes.
But I didn't think of like, oh, I'm gonna watch the movie and have the soundtrack.
Yeah. It didn't feel like that, but they were. So that's why like it's called Dual Star. I think at first it was called like Dual Star Production, and then they switched it to like Dual Star Entertainment Group, because they were doing music, they were doing TV, they were doing made for TV movies, they were doing straight to DVD, they were doing shows, films. Did I say books already?
No.
Oh, they wrote books.
They wrote books?
They were
authors too.
They are authors.
And did you mention the toys, the dolls?
But that's later. Later in life they did that. So at this time they were releasing music, and they signed to a record label called BMG Kids with a Z. And by the time their first album or like their first song they released was like, I'm gonna like My Brother's for Sale or something. Like something about like how their older brother is stinky and they don't like him, so they're putting him for sale. Like
slay.
Yeah. That popped off. Okay. And then by the time the second album, which was I'm the Cute One, and the music video titled Our First Video charted, then this launched a renegotiation for a better distribution deal with this label.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of this, like that whole collection of events of like the music is what gave us the musical mystery series, The Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley, and You're Invited to Mary-Kate and Ashley's.
I loved the You're Invited.
Because they released those random ass songs.
Yeah.
That's what led to us having those series that we loved.
Oh my gosh.
Which is kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
I feel like I came to know them mostly through the You're Invited series.
Yes.
So to know that they had a whole music career before then.
And they were what, 10 at this time?
It's actually wild.
Not even 9. They were 9 years old.
Dude, Dual Star is giving Entertainment 720 or whatever from like Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
What don't they do?
No, because like they were the original Kardashians.
100%.
Okay, so by 1977, they're time travelers.
Yeah.
By 1997, it was reported that those two series alone brought in Hang on to your butt cheeks. Hang on to your bank accounts. Hang on to your Bank of America account that has negative $10 in it. $77 million.
I'm speechless. And what were you doing in 97?
Being birthed. And I was already too late to my career. I'm late for a very important date.
What was I doing? Picking my nose? You haven't even you're doing tummy time or something?
I think that was too young for tummy time. Too advanced. When do you start tummy time?
I don't know.
Isn't that something to do with your neck?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I clearly didn't do enough tummy time as a kid.
What if
my neck isn't flexible?
Was tummy time as popular with 90s kids?
No, I don't think that was a thing for us. I think they said don't put them on their tummies. That's why to this day, I'm scared whenever I lay on my stomach.
Not enough tummy time.
Not enough tummy time. And I blame my mother for it.
You could have been making $77 million.
Why didn't our parents exploit us as children? We were talented enough.
I think we were, we were cute enough.
We were cute enough.
I had fangs, I had the vampire teeth, but
we could have been this.
By that age, I was getting the vampire teeth, though. We would have had the funds
money
to fix it. Yeah.
Veneers,
Yeah. A little, what are they called?
The flipper. Yeah. Like the toddlers and tiaras. Sometimes I just wish I had parents that tried to exploit me as a child. Because then at least maybe they would have at least a little bit of decency to give me some of the money on the back end. You know what I mean? But
she said, I'll take the trauma so that I can just be chilling now.
I already have trauma. It wasn't gonna... It's just exchanging one trauma for another.
Oh my gosh.
Who amongst us does not have trauma? Okay. We already talked about the books. We already talked about the movies. We already talked about the TV shows.
The record label deal.
And these girls were not resting. They did not sleep.
How many movies a year are we talking?
So I think I didn't count each individual thing because there was just too many things going on.
Way too many.
But I think roughly from between the years 1993 until 2004, somewhere around there. This is all guesstimates, okay? So don't come for my throat. They were making on average 2 movies a year. If you were to average it all.
Okay. But
that's
kids?
Movies. That's not including the shows and all the other stuff they were doing. That's just
and
the
appearances
films.
And oh my gosh.
That's the films alone.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it was interesting because of that same People article I was reading. It's a very good resource for research. But I was reading this snippet of a interview with Elizabeth Olsen, and she was saying I didn't even realize when we were going on family vacations that my sisters, it was they were working the whole time and I was just having fun, but they were working.
Yeah.
So they literally went to Hawaii for 2 months, shot multiple things for the mystery show, for You're Invited. They did a bunch of other things, and then after that 2 months was up, they flew somewhere else to go record a space camp thing, and Mary-Kate and Ashley take on space and NASA and Mars and the aliens and the cows with the helmets and the...
So their little sister is man, this is awesome, this is a blast, but meanwhile...
Yeah.
Didn't realize that there's her sisters were working every single day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's kind of you got to go on a couple brand trips with me, but imagine if that was just literally all the time.
She literally was that was literally you.
That was literally, you were Elizabeth and I was Mary-Kate and Ashley. No, I was thinking about the Disney cruise specifically.
Where I worked, okay?
You did. You were in the commercial.
I rode that bicycle, okay? I almost fell off, okay? I fed the stingrays. I was in that ad too, okay? Did I get paid? No.
Wait, when you got off the boat to hang out in the Bahamas, I was stayed back to record the rest of the commercial that day. But they're doing that.
Not my fault.
No, I'm saying they were doing that
yeah.
times
10.
Times a billion. Yeah. That's insane.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. I would sell my soul to Mickey Mouse again. I didn't sell my soul the first time, but
yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
For the free trips, for the brand trips.
Yeah.
There's no more Disney Channel though, so.
R.I.P. Disney Channel.
Or Radio Disney.
R.I.P. Radio Disney. R.I.P. Not Disney.
Radio Disney.
Speaking of Disney, Mary-Kate and Ashley could have easily gone that route too, I feel like. Like, I wonder if the mouse at the time was like, let me get my gloves on these girls.
Salivating.
Yeah.
Salivating.
Let me get my gloves on them and get all this coin.
Yeah, he was salivating. Like these little fangs, you know? He's like, little vampire. Little vampire mouse.
You have to know that they offered them probably
so
some
much
deals.
money.
And they were like, no.
And they're like, no, because they're making, because my final tidbit for you, Megan, is, well, first of all, when they turned 18, they finally were able to like take over their company, which is awesome. And at that point, Dual Star was a billion. Count them. Million. Billion. Okay, there's only two. $1 billion company.
That's wild.
I can't even.
At 18 years old. They built that empire.
They built that
brick by brick.
Brick by brick. How do you exist
as a billionaire?
Yeah.
Well, for them, working every single day of their lives until they were 18 and always. Now always. Yeah.
I read like by the time like Dual Star had been around for like a year, there was like some other films that they got paid $1 million each to do. Like, it's not even a drop in the bucket.
Not even.
And they're so humble.
When I think about Mary-Kate and Ashley during that time, I think about the line that they did with Walmart. Their clothing line was like so iconic. And a few months back, Maddie and I came across one of those tops while thrifting.
Yes.
In perfect condition. You best believe we grabbed it because it was like a size like 14, 16. I actually still have it. I'm gonna sell it because we try to see like maybe it'll fit.
We both tried it.
No, it's made for kids.
It's made for kids, but it was like the biggest size in kids, which like sometimes we can get away with.
But oh my gosh,
we both tried it on. We were like busting out of it, but iconic line. Oh, also, you mentioned it earlier, but they're Barbie. They had Barbie versions of themselves.
Yeah. They were actually through Barbie?
I thought it was through Mattel.
It was?
I'm pretty sure they had a video game too.
Oh, they definitely had a video game.
So when I say they were doing books, TV, film, video games, toys, fashion, they did it all.
Look at that right there. The Mattel stamp. That is wild. That Mary-Kate and Ashley had their own Mattel dolls. Dual Star and Mattel. Iconic. They were literally like their own Barbies. Same company making them. What can't they do?
I would gladly work for Mary-Kate and Ashley.
I'm going to work for their company? Well, let me tell you a little bit about where they went once they took over Dual Star.
Also, do you have information on how that happened?
So they basically bought out Thorne's shares.
Good for them.
They took all that money. They bought out his shares so that they could be the sole owners of the company. So let's talk about the later teen and early adult years of Mary-Kate and Ashley. Starting in 2004, at just 17 years old, Mary-Kate and Ashley received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, making them some of the youngest actors to do so. And to my knowledge, for sure, the youngest twins. 2004 continued to be a huge year for them with the release of their first big screen movie, New York Minute, which you mentioned was not necessarily critically well received, but we ate it up.
I mean, I don't get it.
I loved it.
It was fantastic. 10 out of 10.
No notes.
No notes would make no changes.
We should rewatch that one again.
I haven't seen it in forever, actually. That is one I have not seen in a while. Who plays the
speech?
Dean
is the funniest part to me. Oh my gosh, what's his name?
What's that guy's name? Is it the guy from Gossip Girl? Not Gossip Girl. Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, the guy from Gilmore Girls is in it.
And Eugene Levy.
And Eugene Levy's in it.
Oh, what an icon.
So, I mean, I thought New York Minute was such a fun movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved it. And I still have memories of like going to the theater and seeing it on the big screen after like watching like years and years of their VHS like videos. Besides being major celebrities appearing at every award show under the sun, Teen Choice Awards, Met Gala, not an award show, but, a very important carpet and and place to be.
Did they go to the Met Gala like now? Because they're like big in the fashion
Yes.
industry.
So I don't know the last Met Gala that they went to. It looked like maybe it was like the year that the theme was camp, which I think was somewhere like maybe 2019 or 2021, somewhere in there. That would have been one of the last ones I believe that they were at. So, besides going to all of these big events, they began to shift their focus towards their fashion ventures. In 2006, at only 18 years old, Mary-Kate and Ashley decided to create their own luxury fashion line after Ashley set out to create the perfect white t-shirt, which that is hard to find.
It is pretty impossible. That's an impossible feat.
She was right about that. So they saw space in the market to create, quote, the core wearable part of wardrobe. So I think they were looking for like some really good staples, but in the luxury world. Unlike so many of the brands they built as kids, they didn't want to be the face of this one. With their clothing line as children, their faces were all over that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just called like the Mary-Kate and Ashley clothing line.
Yeah.
Ashley's quoted saying, "We didn't want to be in front of it. We didn't necessarily even want to let people know it was us. It was really about the product, to the point that we were like, who could we get to front this so that we don't have to?" So they were very, very, what's the word I'm looking for?
They were very intentional.
So they were very, very intentional about not putting their face at the front of this new brand that they were creating. Dual Star LLC, the company responsible for the entire Mary-Kate and Ashley empire, like you talked about, is what they run their new fashion line through. They actually have multiple fashion lines, but the big one that they created in 2006 to create the perfect white t-shirt in the luxury world is called The Row. But I don't think we'll be able to support the queens anytime soon, as I took a look at The Row, okay? I went online. A cotton button-up can be around $1,200. But good for them.
What? I'm sorry. Like, pop off. Because
Pop off.
Why not? People are obviously buying it. What kind of treatment are these sheep getting that they're getting this cotton from that they're charging $1,200?
They are being massaged daily.
They must be getting 3 massages a day. They must be getting caviar on private planes, flying to the Bahamas, flying to the Maldives, flying to I don't know where else.
Getting little sheep blowouts every day.
Like getting their hooves massaged.
100%. Manicures, pedis, front and back hooves.
Yeah, front and back hooves. Okay, whatever color they want.
And they're
whatever TV they want to watch. They have the biggest TV room.
Yeah.
Lots of snacks.
All the snacks. And that's how you get a $1,200 cotton button-up shirt from The Row. That's how that is born. That's just
Cotton's from
the
sheep.
science.
No, cotton is not from sheeps.
No, it's not. I was just rolling with it.
Because wool. I was thinking wool. This cotton that's being grown, it's never had. It's the best cotton.
It's organic.
It's organic.
It's never seen a pesticide in its life.
It's also being fed caviar, okay? Because it needs nutrients. It's being flown all around the world. You know what? They've got wool sweaters. You know it.
They have to.
They have to.
They have to. That was just one item I happened to write down.
Ugh.
They have a couple other lines that they've released as well. They did one through Kohl's, and they've won many CFDA awards. I'm trying to remember exactly what that stands for. It's a prestigious fashion award, and they've won
Custom Fashion Dynamic Award.
You know what? I'd buy that. I'd buy it. That's it. But they've won at least 5 times Accessory Designer of the Year. So it seems like I need to be checking out their accessories.
Yeah, it seems like they're really popping off. With them belts and bags.
Yeah.
And necklaces.
Necklaces. I want to talk about some of their side quests, and because they clearly are not a stranger to trying anything and everything.
Before you move on,
Mhm.
because one of their most popular or well-known brands is Elizabeth and James.
The one that sold at Kohl's, yeah.
Yeah. So cute because they named that after their siblings.
Yeah. That's very sweet.
Yeah, which is cute. That's all I wanted to say.
No,
Okay, bye.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's very sweet. So in 2017, Mary-Kate, who was an avid equestrian, competed
Whoa,
in
she's
the
a horse girl.
Hampton Classic Horse Show. Not just a horse girl.
The horse girl.
Competes in horse shows.
Like I
The
said,
horse
the
girl.
horse girl. Horse squirrel.
Another fun fact for you, Maddie. Ashley dated Justin Bartha from 2008 to 2011. And who is Justin Bartha, you may ask? Well, he played Riley in one of your favorite movies, National Treasure.
National treasure. This country's national treasure.
Oh my gosh.
I had the biggest crush on him.
I know. She was living your dream then.
She was. And you know what?
She really was that
happy.
girl.
I'm happy for her. He was also in The Hangover.
When asked about food that gives him the warm and fuzzies, of course I had to include that with the fuzzy pod, Mary-Kate said coffee.
Same girl.
Celebrities, they're just like us.
She said I'm quirky. I like coffee.
And then I did just write down, there was a dark side to growing up in the spotlight. Before their 18th birthday, countdown clocks appeared like all over the internet.
Gross.
Websites like counting down until their 18th birthday.
Gross.
And gross, right? Gross.
Gross. I hate the internet.
But the reason I bring that up is because that was kind of like a core memory of the Olsen twins and growing up with them. Like I remember hearing about that and like not really understanding like as a kid, you know, like fully, but also being like, that seems weird. Like why are we counting down? Are we celebrating because their birthday? Because we love the queens?
It's what I'm celebrating. Oh,
So those
also
are-
another
yeah.
dark side is Mary-Kate was actually very close friends with Heath Ledger.
Yes.
And she was the one that like I can't remember who found him when he passed.
It was like a massage therapist.
Yeah. But they called her like 3 times before
Yeah.
they called the cops.
Yeah.
That's how close they were.
That's so wild. That is one of those celebrity relationships. When I say relationship, I don't even mean like necessarily romantic, like friendship or whatever it was. Like we'll never really know anything about.
Yeah.
Like probably ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To what degree they were, you know.
They were very
They were
close.
degreeing.
In what degree did they degree?
Oh my gosh. Well, where are they now? Okay, so they built an empire. They're still running one.
They're still building empires.
They're still building empires. But these days, Mary-Kate and Ashley, they prefer to stay out of the spotlight. But they continue to run, you know, their successful fashion empire together. The Row and, you know, Elizabeth and James. And basically, I think they have like maybe 2 or 3. There might be
They have a
3, but those are
couple,
the
yeah.
2 that are like
big
kind of the big ones.
Yeah.
And the last interview that I could find from them was like from 2024. So it wasn't too long ago. And they were promoting a Paris location storefront for their fashion brand, which I don't know if that is open yet
Slay.
or what happened with that.
We
but,
going?
I mean, you got $1,200 for a cotton shirt made from sheep.
Hey, that's why it's $1,200, okay?
Oh my gosh.
The Row.
So Ashley is now married.
They're selling a flip-flop for $6.90.
Nice. So Ashley is actually now married, and her husband welcomed a child, a son named Otto. They announced that to the world back in 2023. We don't know exactly like when he was born, but that's when they kind of shared with the media and everyone that they had a
They
son.
had a kid.
Mary-Kate did get married for a few years, got divorced, I think around like 2020, like during COVID. But now Mary-Kate is said to be dating a Melbourne art dealer who comes from an
Melbourne.
extremely wealthy family.
Oh.
I mean, 500 million.
Oh,
It ain't no
okay. That ain't no
billion.
billions. Okay.
It ain't no billion. And that's about all I could find on them. It just seems like they are
Just living a quiet
Both-
life.
enjoying being out of the spotlight, but, you know, appearing here and there, either for like Met Gala or fashion events. And it seems like they are very passionate about that, which makes a lot of sense because they were the fashion icons of our generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
They They are
We'd
still
be
my
lost without them.
yes. They seriously, honestly, even some of the pieces that they wore in like the 90s and the early 2000s, I would want to wear today.
Same.
They were the it tween girls, and we looked up to them so much.
Okay.
The coolest sisters.
We can get, for the low price
Okay.
of
You looking at what we can get?
$1,150, we can get this small leather tote that could hold a lip gloss.
You know what? I think we put together the money we've made on Patreon and we buy that bag.
Or we share this shirt.
Ooh, shirt.
The shirt. Well, the thing about the bag is that's going to last. Don't you think that'll last longer than a shirt?
Who's to
It's
say?
the same price, you know?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Well, let us know your favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley memory.
What is your favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley movie while we wrap this up?
Content.
Show? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
The Challenge.
I need to rewatch this one.
That was the last thing they ever released.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Besides like the
New York Minute.
New York Minute and
was
the on-screen movies, yeah.
That was because New York Minute was the literal last.
Yeah.
But it was their last like straight to DVD film.
The Challenge.
Because it was like 2003 or 4.
I think my favorite has to be Holiday in the Sun, which we talked about on the pod. And that was definitely nostalgia lens for a long time. But another one that we need to rewatch as soon as possible is Our Lips Are Sealed.
Yeah, but I'm a little scared after Holiday in the Sun.
I live for that movie.
I like all that I think of is Twinkle Toes.
Yes.
And their outfits on the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the 60s kind of mod.
I loved
geometric outfits they had
it's
going.
gonna make me want to cut my hair even shorter.
No, the way I was
When I
sending
watch
pictures to Maddie this
Mary-Kate
week
and
of
Ashley.
Mary-Kate and Ashley's like really short, kind of spiky layered bobs. And I was like, do I
feel like I should do that. I'm so close to
Do I
that
need-
already.
do I need to do that with my hair?
I feel like I'm gonna do that.
We just show up with the same hair next week. We just really lean into like the sisters that look like twins.
I also really liked the movie When in Rome.
Yes. Yes.
I loved that one.
And Billboard Dad. We watched that one
Billboard Dad was
more
cute.
recently and it was cute.
That one was cute. Yeah, Holiday in the Sun though.
That one was rough. That one was rough. Oh my gosh, but still iconic.
Sure.
And for some reason, the thing that sticks with me the most, it's because, we didn't have all of the VHSs, but there was this one specific You're Invited tape that we would watch on replay. And Mary-Kate and Ashley hosted a Come As You Are party. Come as you are. Express yourself any way you choose. Oh, come as you are. And there's no way that you can lose. Is there a rap in that song or am I making that up?
No, there's definitely a rap. There's also, I think it's that episode or that like short or whatever they call them, that they go like camping outside or something.
In their backyard.
And they're like, we have to tie up the food because of bears.
And that's where you learn
And
that.
that's where I learned that when you go camping, you have to hide your food from bears in a locked vehicle.
Actually, I think the key of this is come as you are. Let's see if I'm right.
There's definitely a rap.
Express yourself anyway. You know what I hate though is when you go back to watch old videos and because they're kids content, you can't see comments on them. And I just want to know what other people our age
that are
are
being
thinking.
normal.
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
As you are, express yourself any way you choose. Come as you are.
All right, Meg, we got to wrap this up. We got to wrap it up. There's a dance break.
Styles we choose for exploration.
I'm really worried my camera's going to go.
Okay, okay.
All right. All right. Well, if you have not seen that, definitely look it up. It is fantastic. And that song will be stuck in your head forever. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Fuzzy Pod. It was a pleasure to host you today for this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review on Spotify or Apple Podcast, wherever you may listen or partake. Or give us a sub on YouTube. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys.
We also put out a bonus episode the first Monday of every month over on the Patreon, so be sure to check that out. And we will see you guys next Fuzzy Friday. Bye!